What's something you'll never tell your parents? That I escaped a human trafficking situation on girly trip in Sri Lanka. My poor mother would never be comfortable with me traveling ever again. Oh my God, so glad you got out of that. We have a friend who has a daughter. She's like 23 and gorgeous. I can't remember where, somewhere in the Middle East. But she was held captive and held for ransom. The U.S. Embassy had to get involved in everything. Don't know too much about the story, but I do know she's home safe. That feeding and clothing kids isn't enough. You need to tell them you love them, hug them, show interest in them, ask them if they're okay. Say sorry for being emotionally distant parents, and not just offer excuses. Just saying, I know I wasn't the best parent, and I'm sorry for that. I love you. Jesus, that alone would make me cry and feel like the pain would almost go. My parents beat me whenever I did something they perceived as wrong. Never said sorry when I proved I didn't do it. Instead, they said, well, you've probably done something we don't know about, so I wove to never lay a hand on my child. And I hug her and tell her I love her. Every single day. She turns 16 next week. Even if we're upset with each other. You, my friend, broke the cycle and deserve to wear a cape. This is huge. There are many things I can't tell my mother because she always thinks it's a direct attack on her, and everything is followed up with a gigantic argument that is never resolved in a peaceful way. I'm 36 and simply don't want to deal with this anymore. Last thing I told her was about my ADHD diagnosis I got last year. It was more a, so now we know why a lot of things have been so difficult for me when I was younger information. It ended in a 2-hour-long argument that it's not her fault, whatever that even means in this context, and that she thinks I'm unfair for putting this on her, what I was definitely not doing in the first place. I feel this. My mom is a narcissist and swears she was the best mom. I have some diagnoses that I really should have had early in life, but didn't get until damage had been done, because she did want a child with problems. She refused mental health help for my brother, and now she takes care of a middle-aged man. She has never done anything wrong and cannot understand why we are estranged, even though she's been told and has it in writing. My mom ran over her kitten as she backed out of the driveway. I told her I found it in the street hit by a car. I cleaned the driveway and buried the cat before she got home. Oh my God, this is so sad, and yes, please never tell her. That I'm probably not having kids not because I'm dedicated to my career, or just not interested, like I said, but because I'm so afraid of screwing them up the way they screwed me up. Same, 42 with no kids and lots of therapy, still glad I never had kids. I spent days trying to break into their gun safe when I was a kid. Good on them for locking those up because I never got in. I didn't have any plans for once I got in. It was just a challenge, and my buddy had just gotten a cool lockpicking kit. I never could get it open, but I didn't give up until I felt like I'd really tried everything. So now, behind that safe at my parents' house, there is a hole in the wall from where it used to be bolted to it. After giving up on the lock itself, I tried to defeat a back panel on the safe, but in the process accidentally ripped it off the wall. Eventually, when they are gone, and I hope that's a long time from now, I'll have to fix that drywall. How much of a degenerate I really am in private. It's called options trading, Mom. I knew my mom was cheating on my dad for years before he found out, but I knew my mom would blame me for her divorce if I told him, so I just kept it to myself. She blamed me for her divorce anyway, though, so that was kind of a waste. Sometimes we do what we need to do just to make it a few more days, weeks, and then years. That I had a miscarriage, including a cancer scare. I wanted to deal with it with my husband and few close friends, but it would have been stressful to tell my mom or any family member. They're great, but telling them would have added unnecessary stress to the situation for me. They would have wanted to help and would have sent articles and tips and whatever, but I just didn't want that. Now it's years later, and they would be absolutely crushed if they found out we hid this from them. That I never actually graduated from college, I dropped out one class short. I even walked in my graduation ceremony but was supposed to finish the last class over the summer. Depression and anxiety got to me, and I ended up never finishing. I worked for a while as an office manager, and then my partner got a great job offer, so we moved and I never worked again. Life turned out great, and we are now wealthy and living in the place I always dreamed of living, but it's still my biggest regret that I didn't pass organic chem 30 years ago. The few people I've known who haven't finished college, it's always one class they needed. Not to both of my parents, just my mother. That I hate her. That she is a bad person deep in her soul, and that is why dogs don't like her. Not because they're all mean. That when she dies, I'm not claiming her body. I'm not going to pay for a funeral. I'm not going to mark her death or put her in the family plot. That she will be forgotten and I will be free. I have Indian parents. One thing I would never tell them is how I deserved better. Fist bump from another Desi kid. There are a lot of us. How often I skip meals just to make rent work some months. That I got my MA degree and am looking into PhD programs. I would tell them if I could, but they're not around anymore, so I never will. Well, it's something I'll never tell my mom. Back in 2014 or 2015, I received an opportunity to participate in a vaccine trial for an Ebola vaccine. I remember asking my mom for advice, and she emphatically told me not to do it, and that if I did do it, I shouldn't visit any relatives. Well, I considered her advice. Then I looked at the amount of money they were offering, about 2,500, and decided to do it. Got the shot, a mad fever for 24 hours, then had to go to follow-up appointments for a year. She never found out. Never did find out the results of the trial. I looked into it but couldn't find any information. The clinic was supposed to share, and haven't followed up on my requests for info. It was so long ago, I don't think it matters anymore anyway. We've all got something we keep to ourselves. What's yours? Let's see who's got the wildest secret in the comments. Thanks for watching.